Network Sportscast edition here. We got episode 174, and the whole gang is back. Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Craig, how's it going, brother?
We're making it.
We're making it.
Feels
All
like
right.
Friday already, but it's Tuesday. But
It does feel like a Friday. I just told my wife that 2 seconds ago. Jeff, long time no see.
Oh, yeah.
Finally back on. Glad to have you back here as you're off this week.
glad to see you survive that Broncos country season.
Ooh, it's been a bad one, but I can't talk much here either. All right, guys, this week, this episode, we got the Week 15 recap. There was a bunch of wild different games, wild finishes we had this week. We got your Week 15 power rankings and your headlines of the week right after this. All right, guys, welcome in. I do apologize if my voice sounds a little weird. It's going out. It's that time of year in Texas where you need the heater on in the morning and the AC on in the afternoon, and it's hacking up loogies left and right, and it's a fun time. But we got the winter vortex coming in on Friday morning. It's going to be 0 wind chill. It's 40-mile-per-hour winds. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, we're gonna get temperature is gonna be 0, and then the wind chill will be -50.
Oh,
so
okay.
-50.
-50, yeah.
It's a negative right there.
Wow, that's don't even look outside yet.
No.
I'll just go throw a cup of water and see if it turns into snow.
Yeah, we literally collapse here in Texas.
Well, in Texas, when that happens, we just don't leave the house.
Electric grid stops working. And...
let's not jinx.
We just
they had to do rolling blackouts last year.
Yeah,
let's not jinx yourselves, Brian.
And it's not even February yet.
Yeah,
that's when it really gets bad.
Tornadoes and winter vortexes. Here we go.
Yeah.
We had tornadoes literally a week ago.
Yeah. Insane. Well, we had a pretty insane week this week in the NFL, Week 15. We're going to give you that recap here. Thursday night game, we talked about it a little bit already. The 49ers take care of business against Seattle. These two teams always play each other well. The 49ers wrapped up the division, though, with that win. Kudos to them that Craig picked them to win the division. And they look like the strongest team, and what they're doing without their starting quarterback has been phenomenal.
It's been Purdy wins. No pun intended.
No pun intended. They played well Thursday night. You had poor Matt Ryan. Poor Matt Ryan. Okay, the Colts were up 33-0 at halftime. They lose this game in overtime, 39-36. Matt Ryan is not only blown the biggest lead in the Super Bowl, 28-3. He's allowed the biggest comeback in the NFL history.
Yeah, he didn't allow it. I mean, he doesn't play defense.
He didn't allow it.
He just stopped scoring at 33.
He didn't help
points.
it. Did he throw some interceptions in here? No, surprisingly not. Interesting. Surprisingly, he did not.
No, just couldn't move the football anymore.
Just yeah. Insane. I couldn't watch the game because it's on NFL Network, and I don't have NFL Network unless I want to watch it on my phone. And my buddy texted me and said, "Man, the Colts are thrashing the Vikings." I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And I look back and they're in overtime. I'm like, what in the heck happened? I don't understand. Woo.
Yeah.
The funny part about it is because you had texted me and said you needed my picks, and so I went to go look at them. And I didn't realize the game already started. Well, they were already up 23-0. And I was going to mess with you and pick the Colts just to things. And I was like, no, I need to be honest because I'd have never picked the Colts. I'll pick the Vikings. So I I almost screwed myself because I almost tried to cheat and be up 23-0.
Oh, that'd been
Cheaters
great.
never win.
Cheaters. Unless you're the Astros.
Yeah.
But-
So I almost tried to cheat, and then it almost backfired on me. I was like, "Oh, glad I didn't do that."
Oh,
my God.
we both picked 49ers. Actually, in the picks this week, Craig, we were both 9-6.
Yeah, I knew there were several different ones.
We were 9-6, so we tied.
Yeah. Thanks, Dallas.
So-
Appreciate that.
Hey, thanks, Jacksonville. I picked them to win.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
No,
I think Jeff's
can't
got a
catch
little
the
video clip
football
to play.
Brown. No,
I
I
think,
can't catch. Oh, good. Thanks, Jeff. Welcome
I
back.
think Jeff's got a little video clip of that later.
Let me go find some Russ highlights to play.
I'm sure there's plenty this year. We got a whole foley of them.
You got the Browns completely dominating the Ravens. They win 13-3. This is Deshaun Watson's first win back. No, my bad. It's not his first win back. What, second win back? Who cares? It's
Still
the Browns.
terrible.
The Ravens probably win this game if you have Lamar Jackson. They don't. They're playing Brett Hundley out there, and it's not good. It's not
Well,
terrible.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody's expecting anything this year from him, especially being out for as long as
He, you know,
No, he's throwing grounders. He's skipping every ball. I mean, we knew the time off would be big deal, and it's proven itself that you can't take that long off and come back. He'll be back next year.
Yeah,
full off season, gets another plays and everything else. But Bills walk it off on a game-winning field goal last night, field goal to beat the Miami Dolphins. This was a good game. You had the snow game this week. That was them.
Yeah.
They kicked the field goal there to win it. They score 11 points in the fourth quarter. That's that fourth quarter.
Yeah, on a questionable Josh Allen jump over the goal line. The ball gets slapped out of his hand. Did he have it for long enough to break the plane? They reviewed it. They couldn't find a different way. So, there's kind of a controversy there. But once I saw the weather, I thought Miami had no chance in this game, and they actually did pretty well for the conditions. They said they packed 10,000 pounds of cold weather gear for this game because they're not used to playing in this. But Tua looked better. He had the Jalen Waddle, 65-yard touchdown. Tyreek Hill did his thing. So I think Miami's okay. They got to play Green Bay this week, so we'll see how they do there.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle, 3 catches for 114.
Yeah, 65 of it was on one. 65 of it was on one deal.
Raheem Mostert rushed for 136 yards. Woo!
Yeah.
They were able to run all over him. Josh Allen was the leading scorer leading rusher for the Bills. They've never really had a good rushing attack there. And
no, they traded for the kid. Didn't they trade for the kid from Indy, Nareem Hines or whatever? And he hasn't even been. They haven't even put him in the backfield. He's not even been found.
Yeah, he is not. Singletary is their second leading.
Yeah.
So they just haven't ever had a rushing game, and I think if they do, that would the Bills would be almost unstoppable. But they just never have one there. I don't know.
Very one-dimensional.
You got the Eagles taking care of business in Chicago. We'll get into Hurts' injury in a little bit. That's some troubling news there, and with Philadelphia. And
I got an update on that one.
Okay, when we talk about it, we got that hit in the headline. That's our number one headline of the week. Going into headlines, the Eagles get the job done. Their games aren't pretty. They don't win big, but they win. They're 13-1.
Oh, Chicago blew several chances. They were in the red zone twice and didn't get any points. None.
That's Chicago for you. That's why they are 3-11.
Yeah. So yeah, they had multiple opportunities. I think they had 2 interceptions and a fumble before halftime. All in their end of the field, and Chicago got, I think, 3 points out of it.
That defense is good.
It is.
It's just not a winning football team right now, and their quarterback shows promise of, especially being able to run. He's able to run.
The running part of it is, but he doesn't throw the ball well.
He doesn't, but I'm not going to knock him yet because he's got nobody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the Chicago Bears have straight up I've never seen this before. They draft their star quarterback and they get rid of all his weapons, and it's like, well, who the hell? How do you want to draft your future and not give him any help? But he is very electric to watch as far as when he rushes the ball. He's very elusive. I think he's more elusive than Jalen Hurts is.
Oh
But
yeah.
Jalen Hurts has proved this year though that he's single-handedly made the biggest jump in the NFL this season. I don't think there's an argument. I don't think there's an argument there. Saints take care of the Falcons.
Oh, that was a
21-18.
Brutal.
They're both just bad football teams. 5-9.
But they all could win the division.
Yeah.
They're all only one game back.
That's how bad that division is. And it's pathetic. It's bad. And Tom Brady's got to.
The only reason I like it is
retiring this year, hopefully.
No, I think he's still playing. But the only reason I like that division is because the Cowboys get to play them when in their first round of the playoffs. So that's the only reason I like that division.
You know what? My buddy Ryan told me. He said, "I'm worried about Tampa in the first round." I said, "Tampa's complete trash." He goes, "Well, Tom Brady's undefeated against the Cowboys." I'm like,
"Yeah."
He's been trash though.
So is your quarterback. He can look terrible for a month, and then he comes in and has the game of his life against Dallas. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has looked horrible. Has the game of his life against Dallas. I mean,
well, hold on. Hold on with the Trevor Lawrence take, buddy. Okay,
stop it.
Trevor Lawrence in the last, I think, 7 games has had better numbers than Patrick Mahomes. He's thrown for 14 touchdowns and only thrown 1 interception. Doug Peterson, I knew Doug Peterson would come in and make him better. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying he's the next Peyton Manning like he was going to be when he came out of college, but I'm not writing him off just yet.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the whole picture, like the pass he threw in the Dallas game, the cornerback bites on a underneath fake that no one in the NFL should bite on. Pee-wee football guys don't bite on that fake. The guy just runs a little stop route. He just comes to a stop, and then Curtis Joseph jumps it, and the guy just runs off. And I mean, I could have hit Zay Jones on that pass. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to be talented to do that.
But he made the right read and made the play. Like I'm not going.
Read. The dude was running down the field 65 yards, going
Hey, I saw Aaron Rodgers miss that same throw last night and overthrew his guy by 5 yards and get intercepted.
I'm
not going to take that away from Trevor Lawrence.
If you're an NFL quarterback, you should hit that read every time. The guy was wide open.
I'll say this. I have them on my fantasy. The Cowboys defense has completely imploded. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
It's horrible. They look bad.
All right,
there's no pass rush. So when it comes to like the Trevor Lawrence thing and that particular play, the defense is just not playing well.
No.
Why we're talking about? We might as well just talk about the Jacksonville and Cowboy game. Now, Jeff, you got a very insightful clip you want to play for us?
Yeah. Let me go to it.
3rd and 4. Blitz coming. Prescott throws backwards and intercepted. Jenkins has another one. Racing down the sidelines. Rayshard Jenkins is going to win it.
That was a game-losing pick. That was another walk-off victory as the Jags pick off Dak Prescott. Now, look, it wasn't Dak Prescott's fault. No, Brown's got to catch the freaking football. It was in his chest for the first down. But the Cowboys, they shouldn't have gone to overtime. They should have beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when I looked at this pickup last week, and my buddy Ryan even texted me. He said, "Hey, what do you think of the Cowboys?" I said, "You want me to sugarcoat it? You want me to tell you the truth?" He said, "Tell me the truth." I said, "The Cowboys have not looked all that great. You blew out Minnesota. Okay, that was great. Other than that, you lost to Green Bay. You struggled with the Colts for 3 quarters till they imploded in the 4th. I just thought, Jacksonville's been playing better. Give me Jacksonville for the upset. And the Cowboys, I didn't know this, have never won in Jacksonville, which is shot. I didn't know that stat.
That's interesting.
That they
put up 34.
They play good.
I mean, and with the way you talked about this defense to start the year, that this defense travels, the defense was going to win football games. Jeff's exactly right. The defense they had Trevor Lawrence 4 different times, and he gets away and makes a play. If they sack him one of those times, the game's over. Or if you have the ball with 1 minute and 28 seconds, 1 first down ends the game. 1. And you run 2 little draw plays and throw a horrible
Mary.
The popcorn guy was the only one that was going to catch it, and then you punt. You didn't even make them use all their timeouts.
So the question is this a Kellen Moore loss?
100%.
And Kellen Moore is the one making the plays, right? We don't have McCarthy doing anything, do we?
No, he's just walking around. I mean, he hears them. I guess he could step in at some point and go, "Hey, that's a terrible idea." But the bottom line is when he came over, he didn't want to change the nomenclature. He didn't want to change the wording. So he said, "Kellen, we're going to let you keep doing what you're doing." And so Kellen Moore is running the show over there.
So my question is also, when is this going to finally actually, I know it's like, oh, well, it's not Dak's fault that they lost and threw the interception. He did hit the guy straight on, but the dude didn't catch, which he had been catching. And then what's the
week before he makes the diving catch to win, to win the football game.
But the interesting part is, why didn't Dak step up as a leader and just
change out of the play?
Take the sack.
Yeah.
They waste the time out.
Punt.
Like
live to play another day.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. But everybody says that when he does take the sack, everybody's like, he holds on to the ball too long. I mean, there's no winning when you're a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. They did it to Romo. They did it to everybody else.
People blaming Dak Prescott for this loss. They're blaming the wrong guy.
Yeah.
They're blaming the wrong guy. This is your
Calvin
defense.
Joseph let up a huge play. Like,
you're injured right now in quarterback right now, and people.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if you watch the first half when they were up 17, Denard Bland made 4 defensive plays, knocked every pass down, picked the pass off, and all of a sudden you take him out of the game and put Calvin Joseph in. Why? Bland, I understand he's your backup, but he's playing and he's obviously defending the guy. They had no catches, they had no deals on him, and then they put these 2 rookie guys in. And neither of them can cover a fire hydrant. Like, if I can see that from my living room, that guy can obviously see it from the booth. Yeah, like, Bland had 3 pass breakups and an interception, and all of a sudden we just take him out of the game, and he was nowhere to be seen in the second half.
You always sack Trevor Lawrence one time.
One time. No. And that was a gift. Like, I mean, he almost got away from that. He got away 3 different times or 4 different times and made a first down every time. The back end of this defense is garbage right now. I mean, if they just don't even look over there at Diggs' side. They just go to everybody because everybody else is open.
Well, and when I say why, I would kind of also question just a little bit on Dak. If Dak looked at it and said, "Look, you're running a throw play,
check out of it.
I'm gonna audible this."
Absolutely.
And I would assume, as a leader, you're like, power. You know what? We're not going to run this play. We're going to do something different. 6 years in, 6 years in, I would think that he would have the ability as a coach to go, "Hey, if you see something different, change it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, did he not see something different? And he just was like, I think it's a good idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand he liked the gunslinger. We need to be more aggressive attitude. That's what McCarthy keeps saying. He says after the words, "It wasn't his fault. I wanted to keep pulling the trigger." But he's had more interceptions in the last 5 games than anybody in the NFL. I mean, that's the bottom line. Whether they're all his fault,
right. He has more interceptions in that stand than he did through all last season, right?
All of us see.
What about accuracy? Other than that, talking about underthrows, overthrows.
He's not always been the accurate quarterback.
He's never had that, but a lot of these are arm being hit or something to that effect.
So he's holding on the ball too long.
Yes, that's the bet. That's always been the complaint for Dak Prescott is he holds on.
When you look at the wide receivers,
Lawrence, if you look at all those guys where they get the ball, it's 1,000, 2 1,000, and the ball's coming out. And Dak Prescott is not. Now, is that, like Brian said, is that the defense of your wide receivers not getting to a spot where they're
Michael Gallup has not been the guy they thought he was going to be.
100%.
Paid all this money.
Michael Gallup disappeared. He had one.
Did he do that last year?
No,
He got hurt last year.
He got hurt.
Last
He
year.
blew his ACL in the last game of the season or next.
They
last
traded
game of the
Amari
season.
Cooper, and they were betting that Gallup was going to be that guy, and he hasn't been.
And
CeeDee
Noah
Lamb's
Brown has had the
one.
best season of his career, but he does have the tendency to drop the big catch, and that's what he did on Sunday. And so that's why they want T.Y. Hilton. That's why they want Beckham, is because these guys have more experience and can be. The problem where a lot of these interceptions are is guys aren't where they're reading something different than what Prescott's reading, and he goes to cut, or they're instead of cutting, they're rounding the route off. Dak's throwing the ball to a spot, and they're not there. And the zone defense is undercutting these routes and being more physical than the Cowboys wide receivers, and they're picking them off. And that's
so this is like a timing issue.
Yes. 100%.
So
with the wide receivers, it's that's what I think. That's what I'm looking at when I see it. When I'm looking at the tape after the game, the
12 man.
Yeah.
So
it's timing. It's not guys running routes. It's guys stopping on the play. I mean, there was a deal the other day. CD just stopped running. He just stopped. I'm like, what finished the route?
That's a different thing. That was a thing. That was also a red flag in college, because he wasn't the greatest route runner.
Yeah.
But it's interesting bringing in Odell, if you do. I know there's an injury issue or some question mark, but if you do that, the timing is still going to be a problem. Yeah,
I think so.
Because you're bringing in two people, T.Y. Hilton and Odell Beckham, who have not played with Dak. Dak hasn't played with them. And so that's kind of interesting.
T.Y. is a better route runner. He is closer to Amari Cooper than anybody they've got, but
he's slow.
He is. He's lost a step. He's not 4.3 anymore. And so we'll see what he can provide.
Big question is Odell's knee too.
I mean, Gallup took extra time to come back. This is the second time for him, so the second time he's probably going to be more cautious. They're saying that the earliest he could even think about being ready is the second round of the playoffs. I don't know. We'll see. He said today, he made the comment today that that there wasn't a deal done today, and with every day that goes by, the chances of me signing there are less and less. So I don't know. Jerry made it sound like it was imminent.
Done deal.
He made it sound like it was a done.
That's Jerry Jones, though.
And I don't know if that's just to keep his Cowboys in the headlines and keep people talking about him, or if he really has something done. I had heard that Odell called him and said, I'll play for minimum this year if you promise me next year when I'm healthy that you take care of me. And Jerry said I can do that. And that was where it stood. And so we thought it was just dot the I's and cross the T's and finish it up, the nomenclature. And here it has been another week, and we're not any closer. So I don't know.
That's got to be a money issue then, because that seems like Odell's wanting a guarantee
100%.
Of like, no,
he does.
We're gonna have it in writing what you're gonna pay me after the season, because I'm not gonna.
I'll play for my 1.5 or whatever this year, but I want 20 or 25 on the back.
Right, and that needs to be signed.
Yeah, like committed. Yeah, not handshake deal.
No, because all of a sudden here comes the playoffs, and then it's like they lose, and then Jerry's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the other games this week. The Lions continue their hot streak as they take care of the Jets. They continue rolling, and this is a team, if they make the playoffs, you do not want to face. They are scary, the Lions. They fight, they claw, they play. Their defense has been better. It was really bad at the beginning of the season. That's why they started off so bad, but their offense is clicking. And the Jets really need to figure out who their quarterback is.
Well, Mike White's going to take over this week because Zach Wilson's hurt again.
Is he?
I thought he was out.
I saw a report that said Mike White is out this week and Zach Wilson will start.
No, I saw a deal today that said Zach Wilson's ribs are jacked up and that Mike White will start on Thursday because they play Thursday.
Let me look that up. That's a good question.
Because I thought it was because even on my fantasy they were like he's out. I'm like,
White tried to get 15 doctors last week to clear him because he didn't want to lose his job.
Jets quarterback Zach Wilson to start versus Jacksonville as Mike White is not cleared yet.
What a disaster of a situation.
So Zach Wilson will be playing.
I wonder if they posted it wrong because I didn't know Zach Wilson was hurt. It's White's ribs they posted it wrong this afternoon.
It's White's ribs that are hurt.
White's ribs are messed up. I know that.
So Zach Wilson will play, and that's why I'll give you my pick of the week for Thursday already. It's going to be Jacksonville. I don't know how Wilson. I don't know how they can go to Wilson next week and say, hey, or next year and go, this is our quarterback when they haven't trusted him one bit all year. I just don't understand it. You're killing this guy's confidence. You pull him out of games left and right.
Mike White looks good.
I just don't get it. Mike White has played good. He's got this team playing better than Zach Wilson, first round pick. I just don't know how they turn to Zach Wilson next year and say, all right, this is your team. They haven't trusted the guy. So they're in limbo there. They're in limbo with their quarterback position. And if you don't have a quarterback in this league, you're not winning football games. Their defense is what's been winning in these games. Mike White came in, played really well. They had a really good draft. Sauce Gardner's the best cornerback in the league this season. Looks to be like they have a really good draft. They have a good team set up. They just need a consistency in the quarterback position. And if their coach cannot make a definitive decision, that can find him his way out of this team. I don't know how long the leash is there and being the New York Jets and how they run the organization, but you've got to have consistency and you've got to stick with one person or the other. This back and forth is not getting you anywhere. Steelers take care of the Panthers 24-16. I figured the Panthers might win this one. But I was wrong. They have Mitchell Trubisky out there for the Steelers. The rookie Pickett, they said will start this next week. I guess he's been injured.
He was in concussion protocol.
They get the job done this last week 15.
Okay, that's what it was. They had the picture of Zach Wilson up there, and
then the honor.
They had the deal. Put the wrong guy in the picture.
I got you. Yeah, because I looked it up. I was like, no, what I saw earlier said Zach Wilson will play, and that's why I'm going with Jacksonville on Thursday night.
Jacksonville's looking good lately.
We just talked about Cowboys Jags. Kansas City took the Texans to overtime, and because Texans fumbled the football,
nothing about that though.
Because Texans fumbled the football, Chiefs walk it off and win that one in overtime, 30-24. I mean, you're right. We killed the Cowboys for keeping it close and almost losing to the Texans. They go out and lose to Jacksonville the very next week. The Chiefs, I mean, to me, the reason no one kills them is because they've won Super Bowl. They've been to the big game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they have those skins on the wall, to where it's like, okay, whatever. They're going to be there at the end of the season.
Right. I don't think anyone's questioning anything, because of the success already. So
yeah, Broncos get their first win in a while as they beat the Cardinals 24-15. As this was the backup quarterback bowl here.
Back up to the backup because Colt McCoy got a concussion and couldn't play. So I don't even know if like John Skelton's still there or what. Whoever came in the game for Arizona.
Trace
plus with
oh yeah, there we go. There's a name from the past.
Oh god.
Plus you throw the Broncos defense at him and it's like, oh, that's not even that's not even fair.
A fair trade. This has to be the dumbest play in NFL history as the Raiders beat the Patriots.
Oh, I got
This has got to be the dumbest play. Let me paint the picture for you. The last play of the game, they're both tied, 24-24. Patriots hand the ball off. The guy runs down the field, and he tosses it back. And I'm guessing he just tossed it back and hoping the guy caught it and could maybe break a tackle and take off. Well, that guy's like, oh, this is what we're doing? We're doing this? Okay, cool. And he runs down the field, and he throws it right to Chandler Jones, who plays not for the Patriots anymore, but plays defense for the Raiders, who catches it, stiff arms Mac Jones right to the floor, and runs it in for the end zone to win the game. 30-24. It's by far the most bizarre ending to a football game I can remember.
I mean, right at the Minneapolis Miracle, where we're diving for a pick and Diggs grabs the ball and runs down the field when all you had to do was tackle him.
All you had to do was just knock him out of bounds.
Yeah,
there
just
and
tackle him. Just let him catch it and tackle him.
The guy made a great reference when he was running the ball. The Patriots was running the ball, and he tossed it back, and the guy goes, "There's not a Stanford band in sight." Because we all remember the Stanford band play. And then that guy goes back and throws a Hail Mary to Mac Jones, who apparently he thinks is gonna like break a couple tackles and go bolting down the sideline.
Mac wasn't even ready for it, or he was standing there watching the play, and all of a sudden he's like, "The ball, what is going on?"
I got a clip of that.
Arm. Oh, do you? Play it. It's beautiful.
Mac Hollins out on defense. He's all the way back. Stevenson.
Is anyone going to?
Outside the 30, flips it back. Stanford band nowhere in sight. It's picked off. Oh no! Unbelievable! Oh wow! Incredible! Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders.
By far, the most dumbfounding play.
Yeah. If you're old Hoodie over there on the sideline, you got to be going, "What in the?"
That guy's running gassers all week. I mean, I don't know.
Just fall down.
You're tied. You go overtime.
The only thing I can think of is somebody thought they were losing. That's the only thing I can think of. They thought they were down because you just don't.
You don't
make that play ever. Like, I mean, I don't know why you didn't just down it. Why didn't you just down it and go to overtime?
Yeah.
Just kneel it and go to overtime. Why do we even try to run a play? You're clearly not going 70 yards. I mean, without getting tackled.
Well, the first guy made it pretty far. You're okay, and he tossed.
Well, yeah, that was weird too. When I saw it, I'm going, why was nobody tackling him? He ran a draw play. I mean,
this is insane. I saw this and I was like, wow, that's just stupid.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like I was whenever that was going on, I looked at it and I'm going, I don't understand what they're doing. At first I thought they had enough time on it, but they didn't have enough time. And then I'm like, just fall down then. Like, what is going on? I look at the score, I'm like 24-24. Yeah. This doesn't make any sense.
No, you weren't losing, you weren't down, you didn't have to get, anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
You play for overtime.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we're killing Dallas for not living to play another thing in overtime. They were just trying to get to overtime.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Situational football.
Yeah.
Situational football.
And I guess they said that the players ad-libbed that on themselves.
Yeah, they said never, they went rogue.
Yeah, that was never like. He never called that. The offensive Patricia never called that. Like, nobody called that. They just were like, we got it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that locker room sounded like at the end of the game.
I wish there was
a lot of yelling, screaming. Terrible.
Because they don't have they need every win they can get. They're right on the brink of making that game could cost them a playoff spot.
Exactly.
Titans lose again. It's 3 weeks in a row. They lose 17-14 as Chargers get a game-winning field goal to walk it off as well.
Tannehill's hurt again. I don't know how bad it is. He left the game in a cart.
Yeah, it's time to blow it up, Tennessee. You're running back and no offensive weapons. You traded away your best wide receiver last of the offseason. That was a shocker. And
that guy got nobody in return.
Oh, he literally got fired for that. And it's just time to blow it up. The Chargers have been one of my biggest disappointments this season. And Jeff called this at the beginning of the season. Chargers
charging it up. Yeah.
And Jeff, we already talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna get a board. I actually have a board over here. I'm gonna write our names down. And when we make a hot take and we get it right, I'm gonna give us a point because you called it. And this team needs to fire their head coach at the end of the season. They're underachieving what they got, and
as well as Kansas City winning the division
7 in a row. Kansas City wins the division 7 in a row, which ties the NFL record, I believe.
But
who do we call?
I called them to
know.
win the division. I was like, their Chargers are not winning the division.
Well, that's not a hot take though either. The
Wow.
Chiefs. It's just a good pick. Now
I think we both picked the Chargers.
I picked the Chargers to almost make it to the Super Bowl, and I'm
Yeah.
going to look foolishly
That's-
wrong. But they're just too talented to be to be 8-6 and barely limping. If they going to limp into the playoffs, I don't know, but we'll see. The Buccaneers, if they finish the game after the first half, they win 17-3. But Joe Burrow in the second half goes off. It helps when Tom Brady, then they turn the ball over in 4 straight possessions, and the Bengals take advantage of that. And Joe Burrow only threw for 200 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. Tom Brady had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. It's just a bad game, and we're seeing.
Was it on Tom Brady, or was it just bad wide receiver play?
The throw was one of the throws was on Tom Brady. He even came out and said, "Yeah, it was just a bad throw. It was an ugly pass." And anybody can win that division. We talked about how the Bucs can sleepwalk their way into a division title, but that is completely wrong. No one saw this implosion of a team that brought back a lot of their players. You know, you look at the difference between old Aaron Rodgers and old Tom Brady. Well, at least Aaron Rodgers has all rookie wide receivers and, not much help. The Bucs brought back everybody. It's like, how is the change of coach just that bad? Is Tom Brady really is
I think it's the change in coach or the offensive line being
the offensive line being imploded.
Yeah, it hurt. A lot of guys retired and hurt, and that thing has been a turnstile all year long. And we all knew that Brady, that's his one
He does not.
kryptonite. He does not do well under pressure.
No.
With pressure in his face, and he's a statue back there. So
yeah, he has no mobility. He's never had mobility, and the way to beat Tom Brady is up the middle and deal. And those guys have been just that all year. So if Dallas is going to beat them, which they didn't,
if they even face them.
Well, if they, I mean, I think Tampa's schedule going out though is pretty easy. The Bengals was the last real hurdle. They have Carolina to end the season. I think they may even play Atlanta or New Orleans again. So, we'll see. But I think probably 8-9 wins the division.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, they have they play the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Falcons. So they finish with 2.
Okay. So they play 2 divisional games.
And the Cardinals, who was on the 3rd string quarterback.
Yeah.
Try not.
Do
they have anybody coming back?
Cardinals. I mean, maybe
probably McCoy.
Maybe McCoy if he can clear concussion protocol, but
Kyler
Murray is ACL.
Yeah, he's out for this season, and he'll miss some next year.
No. I mean, do they have any? Because you were talking about the Bucs have offensive line problems. Do you have anybody coming back?
I mean, the major ones that they're missing have blown out ACLs and like season-ending type of
oh geez, okay.
Of injuries.
Sounds like the Broncos.
Yeah.
Giants, even though the Cowboys lost, the Giants win, which locks in the Cowboys to be in the playoffs. They beat the Commanders 20-12 with some horrible officiating in this football game.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Officiating.
Terry McLaughlin goes up to the ref, says, "I'm not good." He goes, "Scoot up a little bit." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "Am I good now?" He goes, "You're good." They run. They score a touchdown.
They throw a flag.
You were offsides. But you just told me I was good.
Yeah.
Sorry. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah. The ref.
I mean,
that happened to Dallas, but it wasn't the ref who said he was good didn't throw the flag. That ref was like, "You're good, bro." Offsides. Offense. Like, what the? And then
let me button my Washington shirt back up.
And
he
then
had a parlay. You want to talk about wondering if refs are betting on games? That guy had a parlay. and he had Washington, minus whatever. I mean, yeah, there's no way he had the Giants, and some points because no way.
In the last, they try to throw a touchdown pass to win the game, and McLaurin, the same guy, gets tackled before the ball even gets there, and there's no penalty. It's like,
yeah.
What are we doing? So either that guy really likes the Giants, or he wanted the Cowboys to make the playoffs because
maybe he
it
had the Cowboys. I don't know.
The Rams traveled to Green Bay and they played the coldest game they've played in 30 years. They lose to Aaron Rodgers 24-12, and I wish we would stop winning. I want the better draft pick, guys. Can we stop winning? I wish you would.
12% chance to still make the playoffs.
We got a 12 to 13% chance to make the playoffs. For what though? A season for what? A worse draft pick and a round one loss? There's no point to me.
Yeah, to play San Francisco or Minnesota.
We play Miami coming up, and if we lose that game, we're officially out of the playoffs. We have to win out. We have to have two teams lose at least one of their three, and we have to have the Giants lose out to make the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Keep losing games.
Giants got to play Philadelphia at least once, so I don't know.
But Baker Mayfield was not good last night after the heroics he played.
Oh yeah,
with the 2
days. Baker, the normal Baker.
Normal Baker came back. Look, Romeo Doubs came back, played really nice last night for Green Bay. He's been one of the best rookie wide receivers in the class coming out this year.
Other than his counterpart in Christian Watson.
Watson.
Now, Christian Watson came on a little late. He's been a touchdown machine. Anything he touches.
Ever since the Dallas game. He had 3 in the Dallas game and has had like 14 since. I mean, it's just, it started an explosion of, it's like he built trust with Aaron Rodgers in the Dallas game, and now they're deal.
You're exactly right, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Dallas, for allowing 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
He'll be traded next year.
Well, of course, we always hear it. Is Aaron Rodgers coming back next year? What's going on? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, so annoying. It is so annoying. I'm tired of that. It's like the whole Brett Favre saga all over again. Is with Brett Favre retiring? Is he not retiring? Are we going to trade him? And it'd be a funny thing if we trade him to the Jets like we did Favre, because they need a quarterback.
Yeah, they might.
All right, guys, we got your Week 15 power rankings. We just did your Week 15 recap. A lot of interesting games, close down to the wires, boneheaded plays, walk-off wins left and right, and the Cowboys losing to the Jaguars. We got your Week 15 power rankings, and well, just real quick, Jeff or Craig, Thursday night pick: Jags or Jets? I told you earlier, Jags. You going to the Jags? Too?
Jags.
Okay. I figured.
Yeah.
All right, Week 15 power rankings. Craig, we do this every week. Jeff, you can throw yours out there if you'd like, or have any commentary on the what we pick. Mine really didn't change much from last week. Craig, didn't we have we had the same list last week, didn't we? It's funny, Jeff, because I don't send him a rundown. We don't talk about it. We had the same exact list last week, going right from 5 to 1. So at number 5, I still have the Cincinnati Bengals. Talked about last week, they're on fire right now. They're winning a bunch of football games, and they're heating up at the right time when you want to heat up going into the playoffs. Craig, who do you have there?
Cincinnati is a team that is Joe Burrow's put himself in the MVP race, and they're peaking at the right time. They're going to win that division, especially with Baltimore not having another quarterback. They're going to walk to that division, and if Buffalo or Kansas City stub their toe one more time, they may be the 1 seed because they have the head-to-head over Kansas City, and I don't think they played Buffalo, so that's going to be, they very easily, I don't know what the second tiebreaker is, but if either one of those teams stub their toe, they could be right where they want to be, where they, with a bye. So we'll see. But yeah, Cincinnati is maybe close to being moved up, but yeah, 5 for now.
Jeff, do you have a number 5 team you want to throw in there, or any feedback on what we said?
I'd have to agree. I think the Bengals are actually that's 5 makes sense, especially right now. They're playing a lot better than they were earlier in the season. It's kind of I don't know what was going on for his injuries or what, but kind of stumbled out of the gate a little bit. But
we talked about this last week when we said the Bengals here. It's kind of the same trajectory they did last season. Last season, they played some games. You're like, oh, they look better. This is a better Bengals team, but we weren't sure about Joe Burrow's knee, and they lost this game that you thought they should have won, and they really kicked it up going into the playoffs. And that's really what kind of happened this year too. They started off slow. The offensive line they thought was not, and I think Joe Burrow's had to adjust to that, but they're heating up right at the right moment. So
yeah, unless something crazy happens and Joe Burrow gets hurt or whatever, I don't see that
knock
changing.
on wood. Yeah. Knock on wood. Joe Cool needs to stay healthy. At 4, I actually moved the Chiefs down to number 4. Last week I had the Bills at 4 and the Chiefs at 3. I have the Chiefs down at 4 this week because they struggled too closely for me for Houston, and they still did get the win. And it's hard to take them down, but I got the Chiefs there, and I moved the Bills up 1 because they beat a good Miami team. So I'm going to reward them for beating a very good football team, and I'm going to knock the Chiefs down 1 spot because they struggled against a bad Houston Texans football team.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo at 4. I just, like I said, they've kind of had some close games. They're not dominating people, and the one-sided offense that we were talking about earlier, but not being able to run the ball, I think is really going to hurt you in the playoffs against playoff type defenses. So I'm going to put Buffalo at 4.
Oh, at 4. I'm going to go, and this may sound crazy, but I'm going to go 49ers. Something is up with this team, and I don't know what it is, but they seem scary. Something is weird, and it's the quarterback. I've looked at I've been kind of looking at him a lot and seeing like he's quick. Man, he's quick.
It's really weird to be Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know how he made it that far down in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what people were looking at.
Something is dangerous about this team.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It kind of freaks me out a little.
I called it back. Gosh. I told Brian when they got McCaffrey, I said that team's now dangerous.
Yeah. And now you have Debo being able to, this is a scary team.
Yeah,
so
if he comes back, that team's real dangerous.
Yeah, like I put them at 4 because that seems like one of those teams that just could creep up on somebody and creep in the playoffs and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, and they're playing. That quarterback is really good. So far he doesn't he's
very confident
and
in
he
his
reads
throws.
defenses very well.
Yeah, he played
crazy.
2 pretty good teams in the Tampa and Seattle. And those defenses aren't bad, and he won both football games.
And one of them
didn't look rattled at all.
One of them, they went at 6 rush on him, and he just right. Yeah, I was like, what the? I'm like, for a dude that's been out here for barely
the first play of the game against was it
Tampa?
Tampa blasts him, hits him right in the mouth. They call a roughing the passer, and he gets up, puts his chin strap back on, and marches him down the field and scores a touchdown like it was never happened.
Yeah, he from
and
what
his pump fake, it just complete like he went down and he just faked like he was going to throw it and just completely threw a defense off. I'm like, that is a veteran move, dude. You're doing that in your like second game. Holy crap, dude!
From what I saw from him, he looks too confident back there to be so young, and he's not afraid to throw the ball. A lot of these guys come in, they're kind of nervous, and he just seems like he's been doing this for years. And we'll see who they go with next season.
They're an interesting team. I like them at 4. It's the sleeper team right there.
Well, we'll see where they're up on our list. I already told you guys I had the Bills at number 3. Good, solid football team. They just beat the Miami Dolphins. That's why I moved them up at 1 spot. Craig, who do you have at number 3?
Kansas City. They struggled, but they keep winning, and they're gonna win that division, and they're gonna probably be the 1 or 2 seed, and nobody just wants to go to play Kansas City in January.
Did you know Patrick Mahomes never played a road playoff game?
No, yeah, he hasn't.
Absolutely asinine. That is.
Super Bowl's a road.
Yeah.
Oh, I said playoff game. I said playoff game. Okay. Craig, are you frozen or are you just sitting really still, buddy? And he's frozen. All right, Jeff. Well, when Craig jumps back in, he hasn't had this issue in a while. Go ahead and give us your number 3.
My number 3 is, I would say, going to be the Bills. I think the lack of running is going to catch up. I think they are missing Vaughn, even though they do have a guy that's stepping up right now. But I just think that's a bad weapon to miss in the playoffs. And he's out for the year. So, but lack of running back in the running game, I think is going to be crucial in the playoffs, especially that's like a big deal. It gets colder. You want to be able to run the ball, should be able to run the ball. And that's really what's going to help them win close losses and stuff like that here towards the end. Don't think that they're like in trouble, but I just think it's a little thing to pay attention to.
That could be their downfall. And this is why the 1 seed's so important for the Buffalo Bills to get, is because they want Patrick Mahomes to come on the road.
Mm-hmm.
He has never faced, been away from home in the playoffs. So that's very interesting. And I think they're really fighting hard for that number 1 spot right now.
Yeah.
You just talked about, so Craig has joined us again. It's technical difficulties.
Wi-Fi booster.
Yeah, you live out in the middle of nowhere, so that probably would help you. But you haven't had this issue in a while.
No, yeah.
Jeff put the Bills there at number 3. So at number 2, Jeff, you said it was crazy that you had the 49ers at number 4. Well, my number 2 team is the 49ers. This team's defense has been playing fantastic. This head coach, the move they made to get Christian McCaffrey when healthy, this is the coach that could use him where they need to use him. Why is this picture of me? That's a little weird. You see that? That's a little but excuse me. But the 49ers are definitely a scary team, and they're doing all this without Jimmy Garoppolo, without Trey Lance. They're doing it with Mr. Irrelevant. And if you really want to look at a long shot coach of the year award, it's the 49ers coach, Shanahan. What he's done, who else loses 2 quarterbacks in the season and still does what he does with a 3rd string quarterback that no one's ever heard of? Long shot coach of the year. I don't know. I think it's just perfect.
That is a solid point. I never did think about that. That is a very solid point, to lose 2 starting quarterbacks and still win the division and make a deep playoff run. I don't know when that vote. I don't know when that vote has to be in by, but that is a very interesting point.
I mean, who else? We've seen some coaches we've seen in the beginning of the year, and then they've kind of trailed off. The Giants head coach, that their team's kind of trailed off. The Jets head coach, their team's kind of trailed off. So I'm looking straight at 49ers saying, hey, Shanahan deserves some credit here.
Well, and plus, I mean, I think everybody can throw out the window that the Green Bay Packers are trading with the 49ers for Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
I think they're good at quarterback now.
That's a rumor. But I'll take that trade. Call me up. I'll give you a deal. That or Tom Brady. Tom Brady loves the 49ers.
Oh, gosh, that's another one. Yeah, I don't want to even hear that.
Tom Brady with that defense and that, I would throw up. But Craig, who do you have as your number 2 football team?
Yeah, the Niners. They're just, when they got McCaffrey, I thought this team was super scary, and they were already scary as it was. But when you get McCaffrey, and like I told you, miraculously, all the small little knick-knack injuries that McCaffrey's had all the time are miraculously gone. And because he wants to play football and he wants to win and he's wanted to be here in this deal and he's back home, and he hasn't had a bad game. He's catching the ball, he's running the ball, and I think that team's going to be very hard to beat because other than for the NFC Championship, you're going to have to go to San Francisco and play, and because they're probably going to be the 2 seed.
Team you don't want to face them in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you don't want to face them in the playoffs. There's a lot of weapons, and his Shanahan's play calling and scheming is something like a lot of teams have never seen. And I'll tell you, Dallas doesn't have a shot against them, and I don't think Minnesota does either. I don't
Minnesota's
know
a
how
fraud.
I don't know how Philadelphia matches up against them, but I just really think that's going to be a hard team to beat.
Is there any way that the Cowboys do play them?
It would not be to the NFC Championship game the way the standings are now.
So no,
because they would go to Philadelphia. They would go to Philadelphia after they beat Tampa or whoever wins
whoever wins that horrible division.
Yeah, they would go to Philadelphia, and then the winner of the Minnesota
I'm telling
game, Minnesota, and then the last wild card would go to the 49ers.
I'm telling you, NFC Championship game, as long as Jalen Hurts is healthy, which we'll get into here in headlines, 49ers Eagles, and that's going to be one heck of a football game. Two teams that can
or Green Bay. Green Bay's still in.
Shut up. In Philadelphia.
Green Bay is still in.
Now the question is, does the injury cost Philadelphia the 1 seed, and does everything run through San Francisco? That's the key. I don't know.
They're 13-1. It'd be hard to catch.
Yeah, I mean,
the 49ers are what, 10-3?
4,
10-4.
I think Minnesota's got 3, so it could run through Minnesota.
They're frauds. You don't got to worry about them.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, Jeff, who's your number 2?
Kansas City. Kansas City, they would be number 1 if they had taken care of business, even though they did win, but they should have taken care of business better against Houston. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. I don't understand that. That's 2 games in a row. Houston is like, what the heck is going on here?
Maybe Lovie Smith needs a little bit of love, you know.
So I just for that. No, I couldn't put them 1. They should have. They should have won that game.
I think we all have the same number 1. That's the Eagles. They're 13-1.
No,
Jeff does not have the Eagles.
I have the Cowboys.
Oh, get out of here! You don't have the Cowboys number 1.
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's the Eagles.
You got to put the Eagles there.
It's the Eagles.
They're 13-1, and they're just winning football games,
right?
And they're not doing it in a pretty fashion. They're doing it the Eagle way, hard. And they run their offense, and their defense is
they made
good,
a couple real good late season acquisitions in Ndamukong Suh and the other guy that they got to beef up their line when they lose their one football game because Washington runs all over them. They go and fix it by getting 2 run stopping defensive linemen, and they haven't had that problem since. So.
And their running game's pretty good, right? I mean, it's
Sanders
ridiculous.
Sanders is having his career year. He's got over 1,000 yards, and he's still got 4 games left.
And they have the best offensive line in the league. Number 1 offensive line in the league.
Dude, that
you got a quarterback that can run. God. You got 2 great wide receivers.
Throw now and
2 great wide receivers.
Yeah, the AJ Brown addition was just magical, like
insane.
They had the best. They were ranked the best off season in terms of production, getting better, getting improvement wise. Yeah. They had A+, and I'm like, 100%. Oh my gosh!
Literally, Jeff. AJ Brown was traded from Tennessee to the Eagles, right? The 2 days after the Eagles played the Titans, and AJ Brown killed. He's not even. AJ Brown came out and killed the Tennessee Titans the next day. That GM that traded him was fired. That's just hilarious. It's not a coincidence whatsoever. But yeah, their owner of the Eagles is aggressive, and he's made some great acquisitions here.
And that's the thing I told my dad. I was like, you guys, I'm like, you play this, pity patter long enough, and these teams in that division are going to start to get better. Like you need to take advantage of this whole NFC least kind of thing, because once they start getting better, then it's like now it's fair game.
They've turned into the division this year,
and you're it's like, and so now they're kind of looking at that, and it's like you had multiple opportunities. I don't know how many years of just horrible division.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that is your headlines, or not your headlines. That was your. Sorry, I have headlines right here. Your power rankings. Let's go ahead and jump in to some of the headlines of the week. Biggest headline of the week has been Jalen Hurts' injury, and they've kind of kept it hush hush. He got hurt against this Bears on Sunday football. Jeff, you said he had an update. I had 3 different reports come out. I had he might miss this Sunday. I heard he might miss until the playoffs. I heard he might have broken his collarbone and missed the rest of the regular season. I have no clue. Hurts came out and said today he's definitely could play on Sunday, which hopefully does, because if not, that game's gonna be pretty boring. What's the update, Jeff, with him that you saw?
Well, no, so supposedly I think he was interviewed today by the press, and he said he was good to go. They said no issues there. He basically told the press that he's ready to play. Shoulder feels good. So it seems like he's playing.
That's a terrible idea. I mean, that's just a
it is.
terrible risk.
You've wrapped
It
up.
does
the
sound
division.
crazy. It does
If
sound
there's
crazy.
anything in that
I-
MRI, if there's anything in that MRI of bruising or scarring or anything, and you run to play him, you don't think Dallas will try to land on that shoulder and
I
knock
mean,
him out?
will the defensive line even get to him?
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean,
Well,
but he runs so much.
He does run
but
the
he
ball
runs
so
so
much.
much.
Yeah.
I mean,
True. He may not have to though. Who knows? I don't know.
And maybe this is the biggest game of the year for the Dallas Cowboys and Eagles. Maybe
it's all a ploy. Maybe it's all a ploy to make Dallas be ready for Jalen and not be ready for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah,
be.
and even with Gardner Minshew, I do with a running
they're
back the
not
way
a
that the
terrible
Eagles
team.
have. I don't see the Cowboys have a hard time against the run.
Yes.
I look at this shoulder of his and I say, Doctor, is there anything that could happen to him worse if he goes out there and plays? Is there worse that he's gonna make it worse? And if there's any chance, I say you're sitting your ass out, buddy. We don't need to win this football game.
No,
plain and simple. You worked so hard to get to this point. You were going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
You might not need to win any more football games.
Yeah,
I mean, it just depends.
You rest him and you play you play Gardner Minshew, who at times can come in and give you that game. He can come in and not be so bad. So I don't know. I've gotten 3 different reports, and it's that's what's kind of
the broken collarbone has to be. That tweet was removed. There's
he
no
wouldn't
way.
have played in the game. He came back in the game. He wouldn't have played.
Well,
in the game
and the MRI would have clearly shown a broken collarbone. There's no way around that. You can't fake that. You can't be like he's good, and then he's out there in a whole deal.
Bones popping out. He's
and he's had surgery and everything like that. Because if you ask Tony Romo, if you don't have surgery on it and you fall on it one more time, it breaks again. So you've got to have the surgery. You've got to put the plate in there, and you've got to do it, or it's going to break again. And that's what I'm saying.
Didn't that happen to Aaron Rodgers? Didn't he also have a collarbone injury?
Yeah. And so that's
he broke his collarbone.
And that's what I'm saying is those things don't go away. I mean, and that's not. He won't be back for the playoffs if he broke his collarbone. And so if there's a hairline fracture, if there's a bruise, if there's anything there, you don't play him. And so I don't know if this is Philadelphia trying to just get Dallas off the scent because of course last week they talk about Hurts and how he's risking injury by running the football. Michael Parsons makes a comment and now he gets hurt in this game. And so I don't know if it's to try to keep that from being an issue or what, but I mean, there's no reason to play him in this football game.
Now, looking at the final schedule here for the Eagles, you play Cowboys coming up Christmas Eve. I don't think you win that football game without Hurts. Let's just say Gardner Minshew is playing.
You mean with or without him, right?
I don't think Eagles win that football game without Jalen Hurts against the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't. Now, the last 2 games they play, other than the Cowboys, they play the Saints and the Giants. Gardner Minshew could come in and beat the Saints or the Giants. I think if realistically you just win one of the last 3, I think you're good. I just don't know. The Dallas Cowboys are coming off. They're going to be angry. They just lost to Jacksonville in overtime. They talked about it on 105 through the fan. The plane ride home. When they lost to Green Bay, they were depressed. They were sad. They felt like they let their coach down. They lost to Jacksonville. They said they were angry. This is their Super Bowl. This is the Eagles' Super Bowl. They are playing. This is the game. This is the game they look up forward to every year. They're going to play a little bit harder. I don't think without Hurts they lose. Or I don't think Hurts. I don't think Cowboys lose to Gardner Minshew. I do think if Jalen Hurts is playing and healthy, I do think the Eagles do win. But that's beside the point.
I mean, I think personally that if all of a sudden the running game is running all over the Cowboys, I think the Eagles win even without him. Because if they control the clock and time of possession the whole game by running the ball all over the defense, and the defense can't get anywhere, and they can't break through the offensive line, and they can't get after even Gardner Minshew, it's creating a bit of a problem,
Well, in the secondary, the back end of the defense scares me because A.J. Brown is going to torch them. And then now they've activated Dallas Goedert. I don't know if he plays Sunday, but they've activated him.
They said he's playing Sunday.
And he has always given the Cowboy fits.
Joseph's going to have to either cover Brown or Smith on every passing on every play. That's just not what.
Well, unless you go back to Blair,
which is fun.
Bland. And
Green Bay torched him. Blair,
everybody has.
Bland.
The guy cannot cover his.
But he's better than Joseph. How does this?
Who? Bland?
Yeah.
Oh well, he played better. He played better against Jacksonville. I mean, he's a rookie. But
okay.
But Curtis Joseph has never been good. I mean, he can't cover his face with a scary movie. I mean, he just. I mean, he just can't. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's been terrible. He's played special teams, and that's risky at that. So he has done penalties. Calvin Joseph will not be on the team probably next year.
Well, you hope not if he's that bad. But that just sucks. I hate to see this for any team to get to this level and then this deep in the season playing as good as they are and to have this question of injury with a quarterback. That's just terrible, regardless of who it is. Other headlines, though, I'm going to cut a couple out here because it's pretty late already, and I got to get to bed. Argentina wins the World Cup over the weekend in one of the best final games you're ever going to see. They went up 2-0 over France. France comes back. They tied up 2-2. In the extra time, they added extra time, and they both scored a goal. It made it 3-3. It went to penalty kicks, and Argentina gets it done. Messi gets the one thing that he hasn't ever won. He gets it done this year, which probably would have been his last World Cup because he would be 47 if he played, or not 47, but 37 if he played the next one. But I don't think he is. But kudos to them and kudos to Messi. And I will tell you what, I'm not all big into soccer, but I did watch a couple of these World Cup games. They were really entertaining. And the fandom of these soccer teams is insane. The parties that Argentina is throwing, I think the whole city shut down. No one showed up to work, and they just had a big, huge party in the streets. And kudos to Argentina for getting that victory. So for Messi, one of the people say the goats of the soccer field. And then you got, now this is one, Craig, you're going to know more than me because I don't listen, talk, or really care about golf unless it's Tiger Woods. The Masters criteria is going to allow the LIV golfers to play the Masters events in 2023. This has been a fight between them two. I've kept up with that the fight between the two. Can you go into a little more detail of what's going on with that?
Well, basically, it is. There's now no reason to not go to the live tour. These guys are making all kinds of money hand over fist. They're getting $50 and $100 million just to sign the contract. That's not any of their tournament winnings. That's not any of their sponsors. That's not anything. They're getting $100 million just to sign the contract. 50,
Insane.
75 million just to sign the contract. Well, they're losing their PGA cards, so they may not be able to play in some of the PGA events. But if you can still make this kind of money and still play in the majors, what's the drawback from going to the live tour? So you should see now the ability of these guys to move over. You're going to see more of them move because there's now the only thing that you lose out on, and they're still working on it, is live does not get the world golf ranking. You can't be the number one golfer in the world on the live tour because they don't get points to rank.
Yeah.
So if Rory was to go over to the live tour, his number one status of the world number one golfer would go away and the next person in line would get it. That's the only deterrent right now to go to the live tour is you don't get your world golf ranking points. Other than that, you can play in all the major tournaments, and you can back up the Brinks truck onto the green and load it up with money. And
if I'm not mistaken, the big controversy is because the live money is basically Saudi money, and people look at that as oil money, blood money, dirty money.
Yeah.
And how dare you take it?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know about. I mean, you're gonna pay me $50 million just to come play? Sign me up,
play
buddy.
The same kind of tournaments that you're playing on the PGA Tour, and I just get more money.
That's
the tournaments are worth more. Like everything's worth more.
Yeah. Screw the your ranking.
And they're playing 3 rounds instead of 4, so you're saving your body and having on a 4th round. You're not playing 18 holes of golf.
It's funny because I think a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not doing that. That's dirty money." But if you were really offered it, I want to see you at the table. I want to see his table rip up the contract and walk away from $100 million.
Tiger turned $100 million down.
Tiger's one of the only ones that probably could. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jordan
made a bunch. Yeah.
Michael Jordan could do the same. You know what I mean? Like, but
and some of them are losing a couple sponsors here and there for going over there. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll lose a sponsor for $50 million. So, you know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of the trade.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's good that they're letting them come back and play. Golf is a pretty popular sport. It honestly is, but it could always use more recognition and to hold out the best golfers in the world because of some bitter rivalry you got going on with live is kind of stupid in my opinion.
But do you think golf will ever get to like the Tiger Woods era-esque type of popularity? Because when he was at his prime peak, it was crazy.
It's gonna have to take another player like that to dominate the way he's done, and we've seen some good players, but we haven't seen someone come in and dominate like Tiger Woods did.
I mean, Rory is the number one guy in the world, and I can't tell you the last tournament that Rory won.
Yeah, what's the last time he's won?
So
yeah, and that's the thing, and just like when Michael Jordan, the NBA was the most popular when Michael Jordan was playing, and when Michael Jordan finally retired for the last, when he left the Bulls, they lost a lot of people. They lost a lot of people watching.
When Kobe, I think that's when it kind of brought back up again.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of players that came in that were kind of iconic at that point.
You got
Kobe
these phenoms that people turn on. It doesn't even matter if they're your team. Turn on just to watch the greatness, and Kobe was definitely one of those guys. God rest his soul. Like we do the same thing in football. I'll watch any football game, but I'll turn on to watch Patrick Mahomes. I'll turn on to watch Joe Burrow. I'll turn on to watch these quarterbacks, a wide receiver here or there, and But in basketball, when you got a guy who could dominate the way he does, and it's only 5 people on the court, like I'll turn on to watch Luka Doncic, absolute beast. Even though the Mavericks are kind of failing right now, and
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but
what's going on there is there's no help. Luka's got nobody, and the guy that they got to be their second best player, their coach doesn't want him playing in the fourth quarter. Apparently, it just boggles my mind. But as for that'll be for when the football season's over. We can dive into
a couple key injuries too.
Yeah,
with Kleba and
we've got nobody to replace him. Nobody.
Yeah. Kleba tears a hamstring and Powell has an abductor strain. So, I mean, those abductors can miss 10, 12 games, and then the torn hamstring could be over a month.
So right now I'm focusing on the Dallas Stars a little bit more and getting ready to see hopefully who the Rangers pick up and going from there. But guys, that's going to be your show today. Pretty good show. Great to have Jeff on. It's been too damn long. Too damn long, Jeff. So
yeah,
Jeff will be back Friday? Question mark?
Yes, I think so.
So Jeff's off this week, so he's able to jump on.
Yeah.
And guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching and listening. Feel free to jump on to YouTube and chat with us live as we live stream there. We podcast. You could podcast us on every podcast platform at the Outspoken Sportscast. On YouTube, we are the Outspoken Network. So come in, listen, watch, interact with us. If you have any questions, you can always email us at outspokensportscast@gmail.com. But guys, stay warm out there this week because we're gonna need it. Is your heater in your truck working there, Craig? Or the truck?
I don't have a truck.
Yeah, what truck? You're like, what truck, Brian? Thanks for reminding me of
thanks. Rub it in.
He's
Rub
walking
it
his
in.
routes.
They file it.
I have to start. I actually have to start about 9 o'clock in the morning after somebody else finishes. So
yeah, that's always
story.
fun. My truck's been working ever since they put that resettable relay in there, resettable fuse in there.
Nobody cares, Brian. Nobody cares.
Yeah, show off.
Oh, fun stuff.
Settlement.
We know who the favorites at work is. I see.
Oh man. Anyways,
Trainer.
hey,
next owner. That's what it'll be.
Say that, sir.
So
Actually, trainer. They're actually he's gonna go train with Jesus now because I don't speak Spanish, so and neither do you, Craig. So I don't want to hear your crap about well, if I was training. No, you don't speak Spanish, so don't give me that.
You don't know
think
that?
it takes. I don't think it takes Spanish to run a joystick. Like
I do know that.
Point.
It doesn't take Spanish, but it takes a lot more
there.
than just pointing and to run a truck. But
7-Eleven. Right.
anyways, all right, guys, that's your show. I gotta go to bed. I'm be tired as hell in the morning. God bless and remember,
Keep it outspoken.
Keep it outspoken.